One thanks to Coates Hiram. Look at Matty Poole, second in the championship a couple of years ago. He's back in business in front of the Professor. Wes Berg, great effort by him in third. Huey Doherty in fourth. Tommy Trembath, well done. Tommy Atkinson in sixth position as we move through, Nick.
Ali Day there in seventh. Corey Jones, Mitchie Miller, Kendrick Louis is there in 10th. Christopher Moores is 11th. And Kai Hurst 12th.
Yeah, Kai Hurst back a little bit. Wade Kruger, Josh Imanoga we saw before in the profile. Alex Tibbetts and Jake Nicholson makes up the 16.
After they've had the great man on board. Set for the second leg now. We've done the board, which you can see Matty Poole there. He has got away to a great start. We're now set for the swim. Tommy Atkinson next to him, and away they go on the swim leg. And again, it is flat out from the start as the boys head out on this long and testing swim.
So much pressure when you run down that ramp, Plato, and you've got to make sure you just catch every bit of sand, make every step count, and get into that water clean, because if you're back off the start, it's such an effort to try to push past people.
Well, it's a straightaway thing, you know, you dive off that little edge. Once you're in the water, if you're not in first place or in that first group, you are doing twice as much work. You can see right now that's... I'm pretty sure that's
is it Mitchie Miller?
Mitchie Miller out there in front going under that wave. Now, he's got the clean water, so the guys at the back, they're punching, they're hitting, they're clicking, they're banging into each other, basically.
Who would you look for in this one, Clodo? Obviously, Kai Hurst, who else?
Well, there's quite a few. Kendrick Louis has been doing a lot of training. He said his swimming's right up to speed, and the one for the day, I know we're talking about Matt Poole, but is Shannon Exton. I think he's got all three down. He had a fantastic world titles recently, and it was great.
Well, the boys will do 3 laps of this circuit. The first, they'll go straight down the centre and go around 2 of the cans, and then on the second and third lap, they'll go right around the course. So it's a pretty tough swim, isn't it?
It is, and we set the course yesterday. Clodo was out doing some testing for us. We've set the course out at about 125 metres. So 125 metres off the beach is that first turn where they'll go around. They're going into the wind at the moment, and their pacing will be at around 5 to 6 kilometres an hour. Appreciate that.
Sorry, I didn't realise you were halfway through a big chicken sandwich. All explained now. And Kai Hurst, we heard Nick talk about the fact that he's a wonderful swimmer. He's been to the last 2 Olympics. Rio in him, or do you think that's it?
No, I think that's it. He hasn't announced it officially, but I think that would be it in terms of marathon swimming. He's now back here. This is his spiritual home, Surf Lifesaving, and he's going to give everything he can to it now.
Why is he such a good swimmer?
He's got that natural position in the body in terms of where he sits. He's done a lot of work for the marathon swimming, so much more work than the other boys do in juggling all of the disciplines. So now he's prepared himself for 2 Olympic Games, and he's just, you know, been in with that Miami club. He's trained with Grant Hackett. He's done a great job.
Jumping back onto the Telstra tracker, we got Shannon Exton at 27.9 top speed running down the beach. Now, I'd say that'd be down the travel ladder. That's pretty quick. In comparison, obviously, we've talked about our Usain Bolt at 44 kilometres an hour, but that was on the 100-metre track.
We can have a look there. The accumulator, the board was done 1.92k. And then the swim, which we're into now, 3 legs, approximately 400 metres each, and the ski is 2.5k. So it's in total, once the Ironman's completed, over 8 kilometres today with very little rest between.
That's right, and we spoke about Kai Hurst and his beautiful stroke. Well, he is leading the bunch now. He's got out to the front. Josh Minogue has come through. He's an ex-pool swimmer that's come into Ironman and done a lot of laps in the pool, a solid swimmer. There's someone come out to the left. I don't know who that is exactly. That's Mitch Miller. So Mitch Miller, who we spoke about before, he's over to the left-hand side as we look at the screen of Kai Hurst, and sitting very solid as well. He's a young kid that's got a lot of ability, and you know, if he has a good season, got injured last year, but if he gets a good season this year, he could be right up there.
The other thing I wanted to mention about Kai is that he swims very easily as we enter the wave zone. You know, his recovery, the stuff on top of the water is meant to be recovery. That's what it's called in the swimming portion. So it's meant to be easy and give you a break. Kai does that so beautifully. And the other thing he does well, Phil, is he gets on a wave that nobody else can get onto.
He does. He's got a very big chest on him that sort of planes across the water to explain it. He sits up high. He holds a lot of breath in every time he breathes rather than expanding it out every time he breathes. So that means he's buoyant in the water, so when a little chop comes, he can run that right through.
Well, Clodo, he won't be happy with this because the field's come back at him because he's in that area where there's not really much happening. And there he goes. He's pulled onto something tiny, and watch his body semi-skills. This is hardly breaking at all, and he's ridden that all the way through the shore. So Kai Hurst in first place, lap 1 of 3 of the swim lane.
And that was enough to bridge that gap that Mitchie Miller had put on, just going slightly more right of the course.
Yeah, he knows what to do. A big thing is positioning today. You know, you're going to turn the last can. You've got to make your way back to these two black banners where they've got to run around. So as you swim in, you look for the banners. You've got to know where you're going. You saw Kai cut across the front of the water then. It's all about position. That
was Joshy Minogue in second position, number 16, Mitch Miller. Well done to him. And Shannon Eckstein, speaking to him yesterday, he expected, as Ali Day is back in the field, he expected Mitch Miller, who's now training with him, to be a real improver this year.
Yeah, he's been happy having him as a training partner. Shannon did say that his training during the winter has gone well, and it's been great to have a sparring partner like him to really push him.
So the first leg was led out by Kai Hurst, followed by Minogue. Mitch Miller, well done to Christopher Moores. Kendrick Louis in 5th position, Shannon Eckstein 6th, Corey Jones in 7th, Matt Poole 8th, who won the first leg. Tommy Trenbarth and Alex Tibbetts rounds out the top 10 as we move through and see Hugh Doherty and Tommy Atkinson midfield.
Well, there's a nice transition into the second lap for Kai Hurst as well. He's put in a little bit of a gap for these boys. And you can see a little bit more urgency in his stroke as well, Phil, whereas in the last leg it was just really nice and smooth. There's a lot more white water around, a bit more urgency, higher stroke rate as well.
That's what he does so well. You watch Kai swim and you watch the other guys swim. He's got a stroke that's very efficient underwater. Up above the water, it doesn't matter. Once he gets that hand in the water, he catches a lot more water than the other guys. Therefore, he's pulling a lot further forward.
Kai had a 7-second lead the first time he ran under the banner, so he'll be looking to extend that in front of Josh Minogue and Mitch Miller. Josh Minogue, a man that's done extremely well in recent times with the Coolangatta Gold and won your event here last year. Yeah,
he's an endurance animal, loves doing lots of training. He trains with Michael King and that squad as well with the other boys. And because of that, I know that he really and truly just likes doing lots and lots of hours of training.
Kai Hurst leads at this stage on the swim leg, the Kellogg's Nutri-Grain Ironman Series. Glorious conditions, Scarborough Beach, Perth, Western Australia. Where everyone started in this sport. I know down in my part of the world at Barwon Heads and Ocean Grove, they've got a lot of nippers in wetsuits, admittedly, down where I'm from, but it's just a great lifestyle.
You know what? I mean, part of the vision to make this a national sport, the Ironman and the series, was to come over to Western Australia, and the big part was to get those kids that want to be Ironmen and women, getting them to hang out, mix, and see the stars and the heroes, because over in the West, it's a long way from the East Coast where these guys come from, and it's been just fabulous seeing the reactions of the kids.
Spent some time up at Noosa a couple of weeks ago. My young daughter's only 3 years of age, and she was watching all the Ironmen and watching Geordie Mercer train, and they were doing the beach sprints, and now she wants a piece of hose in the backyard that she can race along and try and grab the flag.
She wants to be a sprinter.
Yeah, she's just slightly concerned about the temperatures in the water down in Barwon Heads as opposed to Noosa. But
maybe we can get her doing the march pass at the moment.
Yeah, I might still be a bit beyond her at this stage, but Kai Hurst is not beyond him. He continues to dominate out in front. He did lead by 7 seconds, and it looks like the field may have just bunched up on him a little.
So the eye line for Kai is so interesting and fascinating to watch. He's looking forward to make sure he's on course, but he's also constantly looking under his arm. He can feel the swell building when he needs to, but look at this, change of direction, because he looked under his arm and he knew that he needed to move across. He can feel it.
Yeah, he certainly does. Here's a little wave now. This is where he shines. Watch this. He's going to straighten up, arms out in front, holds his breath, tightens up the board.
Jinxed him.
He set you up then.
He did, didn't
Absolutely set you up.
It's all about trying to be as tight as an ironing board and making sure that you can glide on top of that wave.
The thing that's been explained to me, Clado, by yourself, Leachy, is you are needing to take a breath, but you have to keep your head down to keep the wave, and that's the hard thing, because you want to stick your head up to have a breath.
It is when your heart rate's going through the roof, and these guys are going very, very hard at the moment, so they don't have a lot of time to keep their head down. So it's a real game of keeping the head down while you can, and making sure you stay on that wave, because that wave is going much, much quicker than you can swimming.
Our leader of the first one, Matt Poole there, sitting just behind Shannon Eckstein and Kendrick Louis right in there. So Kai Hurst out in front, Josh Minogue sitting in second, and Shannon Eckstein bringing up in third.
Ali Day hasn't really been firing up, has he, the last couple of, like the last race and this one? We haven't seen much of him. I hope he can come through, because he's a real crowd favourite, and it's good to see Ali Day up the front.
No doubt he'll feature as the event goes on. Well done by Joshy Minogue. But again, it's Kai Hurst leading, and he's got Josh Minogue on his tail now. He did lead by 7 seconds the first time through. He's narrowed that margin just to 4 seconds now. Kendrick Louis is in third position, followed by Ali Day. So he's starting to make his move. That was Bart Simpson in the background. Shannon Eckstein in 5th as well, and Mitch Miller has dropped 3 positions on that swim in 6th position. And where is Matty Poole? He is in 7th. So there is the Seagull, Corey Jones. So Matty Poole, who won the first leg, looks like he is after a consistent day, as we see Alex Tippett's run through the screen. 1 lap to go in the swim.
Yeah, good on you, Ali. I mean, obviously his starts haven't been great. You know, you just that speed off the line is one of those things you don't find out whether you've got the speed going until you go to that first race, Clado, when you see that a few of the other guys are actually getting off the line quicker than you. But he's obviously working his way back because he's fit.
It's the exciting thing about the first race. No one knows where anyone is. A couple of guys have done a few local carnivals, but coming into this, everyone's quite excited, jumping out to see who can be the fastest swimmer, who can be the fastest board paddler and the fastest ski paddler. How's
he seen in the sport, Clado? You're heavily involved. You've got a big training squad. Ali Day, you obviously don't train him, but he was so relaxed going into the decider last year where he got beaten by Kane, and he just kept saying, oh, listen, I'm just here to enjoy myself, and if the results take care of themselves. And Leachy was one who wanted to see a bit more fire and brimstone. I'm here to win.
I think that's the way he deals with pressure. Everybody has a different angle, and I think his way of dealing with it is explaining that to the people. Some take it on the chin, some do it another way, but you know, I think Ali shows that once he gets relaxed, once he gets in an environment where he's amongst his peers or people that he looks up to, he puts in great performances.
If you could choose one man in this entire field to coach that you think's got enormous potential of the young men coming up, who would it be?
You'd have to go with Ali. I mean, Ali's a guy he's thriving through it. He wants it more than anything. He goes out there, he chases it, he wants to be a part of it.
It's about getting him to believe in himself, though, as well. I mean, you talk about fire and brimstone, but it's also having the courage to actually get out there and believe in yourself.
I think he believes. I just don't think he likes to tell everyone that he believes. Like, you know, he doesn't want to make a big scene. He's very humble. And he's one of those kids that everyone loves him the most out there because he's just so nice. Like, he's the type of kid when you talk to him, he'll ask you how you're going before you can get in and ask him how he's going. Yeah.
Oh, around the cans there, a little bit of jostling for positions.
There certainly is. It's like the great thing about this is we've got our top 10 that qualified last year in the red shirts and our trialists coming through in the white shirts. So at the back there you can see Corey Jones, Tommy Trenbarth in there alongside. I think that's young Nick Anderson who's in there having a great race.
Your boy Chris Moores is in there as well. You coach him. Yep. He's a New Zealand champion, so he's in there as well.
Great runner, isn't he, Clado? I remember in the trials when he went around, Chris Moore, his running was so good. He's a lean guy that you know, can really pound it out in the sand.
He's a poster boy for skinny blokes all over Australia, right?
Which you're happy for.
Well, you put on a bit of size, Howie. I think you've been in the gym during the winter, my friend.
I've been working very hard for very limited results, I can assure you now, Leachy. Back at the front, though, Kai Hurst is continuing to go well, but Josh Minogue is pulled right up on his tail, so he's trying to get a ride in. And great to have Ella Bachet involved this year. They have got some wonderful products. Well, weather and water conditions, you get the SPF 50 on, you won't get sunburnt, which is extremely important. All our competitors have got it on.
Just in the top of the screen there is Ali Day. He had some really good momentum, so he's now, after us talking him up, he's now moved into a very firm third place.
They do listen to us here in commentary, don't they, Nick? They can hear us.
There is Ali Day. You can see his longer hair in third position. Kai Hurst, Joshy Minogue in the rather fetching pink goggles. He's in a nice position. There is Ali Day.
Oh,
who's going to get on this wave? Kai Hurst. He's pushing himself. He's just flattening out as the tide comes in. There's a real gutter through there.
It broke on the other side, didn't it? He was just in the wrong position. Had he been across to the left another 10 metres, he would have got that.
Did that happen in the last leg?
Yeah, it did.
I think it was the same spot he came in the last place.
Exactly the same. He's just missing it by 10 metres. Tough to do, though, when you're out in the water, trying to work out exactly the spot you need to be in, though. But he's held this race well, Nick, and he's dominated well, and he's really sitting in a good position, and he'd be unlucky not to win this.
Yeah, it would be unlucky, but we've seen that happen time and time again in surf lifesaving. So there could be something out the back that starts to build. It just bridges this gap, but we're almost there. With Kai Hurst still there.
Josh swimming well, isn't he? Like, there was a gap of 12 seconds. He's pulled that back to a couple of seconds now, right at the end.
The boys having to swim all the way into the beach, and here's the wave that could break. Ali Day pushes off the back. Minogue's on it. Kai Hurst. All the boys are doing everything they can. Trying to will their way onto it. They're going to have to walk all the way up to the beach. And it looks like Kai Hurst, but Joshy Minogue, if he wants it, he's going to have to get going now. He sets off after Kai Hurst. And Ali Day, the lean, really fit operator, comes out in third position, but it's Kai Hurst. He has led from start to finish. Killer Kai, they call him, and he's done the job. He's a wonderful operator. He's across the line first. Well done to Joshy Minogue, pink goggles and all. He's in second position, and the Wheel Up Ali Day fan club will be up and about because their man from the south coast sprint on. It looks like Trenbarth is there. Matty Poole busting a gut to get across the line, and the Professor, Shannon Eckstein, Kendrick Louis, and rounding out that little mob, is Jake Nicholson. Well done as the Seagull makes his way up the beach, Corey Jones.
Geez, Matt Paul had determination on his face to try to get to the line, didn't he?
Was that extra 1 point that may count?
I think he got it.
Yeah, that could be the difference. 1 point in this type of racing when they're so tight is everything, Nick.
Absolutely. You don't want it to come back to a count back.
No.
We saw Corey Jones coming through. We saw Alex Tibbetts there as well.
Yeah, the results have got Tommy Trenbarth just in front of Matt Poole by 1 second. Shannon Eckstein. And we can have a look at the results. Kai Hurst, Josh Minot.